So it's been officially 3.5 years since I quit my job to run my creative business full-time. So I've pretty much worked 3 years in corporate jobs and also 3 years for myself. And today I'm celebrating because in the last 6 years, I feel like my mindset has changed so much, just going from an employee to now an entrepreneur. So I wanted to make this video sort of as a reflection video, and I wanted to share all the mindset shifts, the main mindset shifts that I've had going from employee to entrepreneur. So hope you enjoy this video and let me know in the comments if you do. So the first mindset shift that I had to make was, my goal used to be to make my boss happy or to make the organization or the company happy. But now my goal is to make me happy. As an employee, you're pretty much tasked with the things that you have to do in order to help the organization meet its goals. And my goal was pretty much to do those tasks so that my boss and the organization and my team could be successful. And even though I loved all the jobs that I was in, and I learned so much, I love the jobs that I was in, I just felt because that was my goal, it didn't really feel super duper aligned with just what I wanted to do. And that's why I quit my job. If you've been following me on this YouTube channel, I've made some other videos about me quitting my job. You can check them out after you watch this video, but you might know that my dream has always been to have location independence and have an online business and travel the world. So I know I'll be happy if I have flexibility and I'm doing the things that I love. And most importantly, making an impact on the world on my own terms. That is the thing that really, really makes me happy. And now, even though, oh my God, it's really, really hard at times, it can be stressful. I can have a lot of self-doubt. So it is very, very challenging to do your own thing. But I feel I am cherishing every single part of the journey because I know I'm investing in my own happiness. The next mindset shift that I had to make was, I used to follow the rules, but now I create the rules and I also break the rules too. So it's a completely different way of doing things, because usually as an employee, there are a lot of guidelines and certain ways to do things. For example, there's a branding guide for how you should do marketing. And so I had to follow all the rules, which made my life, actually, it was a lot easier to do because you have these limits, right? You have these restrictions and you just operate within the limits, the rules, the restrictions. But then when I quit my job and I was doing my own thing, I found it just so difficult to just work because there were no rules. I didn't have a boss. No one told me what to do. I had to be the boss. I had to create my own rules. And even though that sounds so amazing because I can pretty much do whatever I want, it's actually really hard because I have no idea what I'm trying to do. And it's I'm not sure what is the best way to create success for me. So I think that was one of the hardest parts when I quit my job, because I just didn't know what I was doing. And I struggled a lot with my definition of success, which, by the way, I do have a new definition of success, which I worked on with a previous business coach, and it's right here. So success is learning and growing every single day. So whenever I feel down or I feel I'm not ahead or moving forward or growing fast enough, I just think back to my definition of success, and I always feel a lot better because I know that I'm on my own journey and I'm creating things for myself. And if I'm learning and growing every day, then, well, yeah, I'm successful. I'm taking steps towards this thing that I want. And for me, it's not about getting a salary raise or a promotion anymore. It's really about me growing. And I truly believe that my business grows in proportion to how I grow as a person. So I'm always trying to read books, grow as a person, and yeah. The next mindset shift is, I used to walk on a predetermined path, climbing up the corporate ladder, but now I'm creating my own path. So I think for a lot of new entrepreneurs, they get stuck right at the beginning because they don't have a predetermined path to follow. Because, as an employee, you kind of know, after how many years you're supposed to get this promotion. Then after X amount of years, you become a manager, and then you're a senior manager or something. There are steps, concrete steps to moving up and being successful. But then when it comes to entrepreneurship, you don't really have that. And while there are definitely a lot of entrepreneurs in the world, you can definitely follow people's footsteps, but every single person, every single entrepreneur has a different path And it is scary to go on your own path because no one's in front of you doing it. But also, even though you are creating your own path, there are people who have been on a similar path as you. So that's why I think as a new entrepreneur, if you are like new at this, it's so important to have like mentors. It's so important to read like entrepreneurial books to get into the right mindset, to follow people who inspire you, and to also get like coaching. And I think mentorship is like a huge, just so helpful. But also to have a community of people where like they're kind of like doing the same thing as you, or maybe in the same kind of space as you. Next mindset shift is my pay used to depend on how much time I worked. But now my pay depends on the results and value that I can provide to my audience and also my customers. So when I used to work in my job, I worked 40 hours a week and my pay was the same no matter the output. But obviously I did try to be as productive as I can and like use my time wisely. I'm not a slacker, but it's really different now as an entrepreneur because my pay doesn't depend on the time I work. So I've worked 60-hour weeks, I've worked 20-hour weeks, and I could make the same amount working 60 hours or 20 hours. It doesn't depend on the time anymore. It really depends on what I can create, the results for my audience, for my customers, the value that I can provide. So in an ideal situation, I would like work less and make more. But I think if you're just starting out with entrepreneurship, there is a lot more time investment put in at the very, very beginning to like set things up, get things going. But then later on, like you will be able to like really set up your business in a way where you can work less, but then make more, like same amount or more. So everything I do now is about impact. The more impact I can make, the more I will make. And I forgot where I heard this, but it was something like your income is a byproduct of the impact you create. The next mindset shift I had to make, which honestly I struggled a lot with, is like it used to be so easy to not think about work after work hours. But then when I became an entrepreneur, I could not shut off my mind, no matter how hard I tried. If I'm showering, I'm thinking about it. If I'm I don't know, driving, I'm thinking about it. I just can't shut my mind off when my like work time is over. And honestly, that's why a lot of entrepreneurs get burnt out, because you're just constantly thinking about things, generating new ideas, or like stressing out if like you can make money this month or not. And I struggled a lot with this at the beginning, like pretty much the first year, the first 2 years after quitting my job. But thankfully I had a mentor who like really encouraged me to start meditating. I never really meditated before that, but yeah, I like downloaded Headspace. I actually did pay for the app. I think it was like $100 for the annual subscription. And this is like not sponsored, I wish it was, but it honestly like helped so much. Like it was so worth the $100 that I spent. I think I did it like every single day for a couple of months. I did have had a huge streak. Maybe it was like a 100-day streak. That was like the longest streak I had. And it just helped me so much with compartmentalizing like things in my mind and just being aware of like what I'm thinking of. And yeah, at first I was kind of like, I'm not sure if this whole meditation thing can work. But after I used Headspace, and I also read a couple of meditation books, Meditation for Fidgety Skeptics was really good. And then The Power of Now was also very good in like helping me to understand why meditation works and how it can be so helpful. And actually, yeah, reading books like has really helped me grow as a person. And remember, the more you grow as a person, the more your business will grow in proportion. By the way, if you are not reading regularly, you really need to watch this video that I made about how to start a reading habit. Because if you do want to start your own business, or even just like in the career that you have and like be successful, like it's so important to grow and learn and get better as a person. So watch this video next, or else you are missing out.